Remember the 5th of November, gunpowder, treason, and plot.
Do you remember?
The 5th of November! Good evening, everybody, or good morning, or good afternoon. Welcome to the Tea and a Buddy podcast. I'm Dominic.
And I'm Erica.
And as you might have guessed, our podcast, as we said before in our previous one, in our previous episode...
If you listened to it, and if you did not, why
Yeah,
not?
go back and listen to it. Go back, mate. Go back and listen to it.
Go back, mate.
Yeah, this is Bonfire Night, or Guy Fawkes Night, as it's known in Britain. And I mean, it's not celebrated over here at all, is it? Really?
Well,
nobody's celebrating it.
No,
at all here.
No.
Halloween and then Guy Fawkes Night.
I wonder if they do. I wonder if somewhere if they do.
There's like a little British expat community somewhere that's like,
Yeah.
let's get together and have jacket potatoes and bonfire toffee.
Yeah.
All the best stuff.
Yeah,
and
if you're-
burn an effigy on the bonfire.
If you're listening in America somewhere, maybe in New England somewhere, some obscure little like New England town.
It's very fall-like.
Just celebrates it just for like history, you know.
Just to like it. You know?
Yeah.
Because I think it was very briefly a thing over here.
Yeah.
During the early days of the colonies, you know.
Yeah. But I think it died out because
it died out when
why
everybody...
would anybody celebrate that in America?
Well, yes, I suppose so. Anyway, if you don't know what Bonfire or Guy Fawkes Day or Night is, it's an old traditional holiday. Well, it's really a holiday. It's just kind of like an observance.
It's bizarre.
It's sort of bizarre, yes. It dates back to 1605. The year 1605. In England, in 1605, a group of provincial English Catholics led by Robert Catesby plotted to assassinate King James I. And on the 5th of November, they planned to blow up the House of Lords, which are part of the Houses of Parliament in London, where the king was attending the state opening of Parliament. The plot was discovered, and Guy Fawkes was arrested underneath the house with 36 barrels of gunpowder.
Yeah.
And he's the most famous one of the plot because he's the one that everybody burns on the thing, because he was found with the gunpowder, you know.
I guess so, yeah.
And ever since, Guy Fawkes Night has been celebrated all over Britain with the traditional fireworks displays and bonfires set up. Mm-hmm. And I think in recent years, it's kind of died down, the tradition, and I think that's mainly due to, like, the American influence of Halloween.
Oh, really?
Yeah, people say that, you know, it's like, penny for the guy and all this kind of stuff, and all the traditions surrounding Bonfire Night have kind of been on the wane. And when I was a kid, it was still kind of going strong. It was, as I said, you know, we were talking about in the Halloween episode that Britain doesn't really do Halloween and doesn't go all out. On Guy Fawkes Day, they kind of did, you know, we kind of did go out and, you know, celebrate it and stuff, and it was just like, oh yeah, this is the tradition, you know, of going, you know, like if you lived in like a little village, they'd usually have like a gathering in the night, you know, with a bonfire set up, and usually people from the village would have built it, usually kids helping and stuff. And I remember a lot of like adverts around the time were like, you know, health and safety, you know, watch out, you know, if you're having sparklers because they could blow up in your face, and watch out for fireworks, and if you've got pets, watch out for them going into the bonfire, you know, and making a little den, because, you know, you'd make it like a before they lit it. Yeah.
I'm like, why would your pet be that stupid?
And you know, why would they be that stupid? But they'd go in there and they'd make a little nest and stuff, just make sure it's cleared out, make sure there's no kids in there hiding or whatever, you know.
Wasn't there a London's Burning?
There was a London's Burning episode, and I think Sherlock dealt with it too.
Oh, maybe, yeah.
I think it was Moriarty, maybe not Moriarty, but one of the villains in the Benedict Cumberbatch Sherlock had John trapped in a bonfire.
Yeah.
And they'd set fire to it, you know.
Yeah.
So it's, and what would happen on the day is like kids would put together an effigy of Guy Fawkes, or it could be anybody really. It was like the celebrity of the day, whoever was hated. You know,
Yeah.
like nowadays they
So
might
there might
put
be
Boris
Boris.
Johnson or Rebecca Vardy. If you're up on the social media aspect of things, I might get a chuckle from some of our 2 British listeners. You know, just like celebrities of the day who are like ridiculed, you know, like usually like maybe, you know, like people like Jimmy Savile, I'm sure, got made and put on the bonfire, you know, after what happened with him. And
It was so, I mean, it's
Harvey Weinstein, you know, that
Oh,
kind of things.
yeah?
Yeah, stuff like that, you
It
know.
seems a bit like dark, doesn't it?
It's
To
dark.
put somebody who's like actually done horrible things. It seems more like
Because, you know,
it would
it's like
seem more British
the
to me to put
significance.
somebody like Boris on, you know,
Yeah,
like
Boris-
someone just comical, like oh yeah, let's burn him, you know.
Well, no, I mean, a lot of people feel like that's, you know, it's like, oh, who's hated this year? You know, who's hated so much this year? We'll
That's
just.
dark.
It's very dark. It's a look into the British psyche there, but yeah, it's that kind of thing. You know, they build up the guy, you know, make him out of suit, pillowcases and whatever, you know, and put whatever on him, and they put him in a wheelbarrow, as I remember, and they'd wheel him around the town, or they wheel him around the houses and be like, penny for the guy, you know.
Would they dress him up and make him actually look
They'd-
like
They'd
whoever?
kind of dress him up in old
Or would they
clothes.
just put a sign on it and say
Sometimes, I mean, the more creative ones would be looking for money, you know.
Yeah.
You know, that's the kind of thing they do with penny for the guy.
mhm.
And, you know, traditionally you'd give a penny, but, you know, nowadays it's probably like £5 or something. They'd be looking,
$5?
they'd be looking for a fiver. So I remember once, these gang of like 8-year-olds were going around with their
those evil
those evil 8-years
gangs.
with this effigy of a guy going, you know, fiver for the guy, you know.
Yeah.
And they collected a lot, you know. And of course that guy then would be put on the bonfire then at the end of the night, and, you know.
So
burned.
everybody puts their guys on the bonfire?
Yeah, you
or
can.
there's
Yeah,
just,
you
like-
can.
or they
You
just
can,
pick
but or
the
they
best
pick
one.
the best one and stick him on top. But usually they get thrown on the bonfire, you know, and it's just wood and stuff. But the highlights were usually the food. You know, there's like stuff called bonfire toffee, which is like a hard treacle toffee made out of molasses.
Yeah.
It's
And
kind of like
toffee, when you say toffee.
it's like very hard caramel,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
very hard caramel that, you
For
know, will
Americans.
break your teeth. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
And you know, you have to use a toffee hammer because they make sheets of it. You know, you have to use a special toffee hammer to smash
So
it
that's
all
the
up.
same thing we call toffee.
Yeah. Jacket potatoes is another like
Bonfire night.
bonfire night staple. You know, they'd have like a jacket potato van,
Yeah.
and you know, you'd have whatever fillings on it and stuff like that. So that's another food. Chips, of course, burger and chips is now things. Hot dogs, and you know, that's the kind of thing I remember.
Yeah.
I remember attending so many of those. They just kind of blur into one. I seem to remember one in Torquay, where I used to live, being like a massive event, you know, like everybody was there.
Yeah.
It seemed like the whole town was there, and, you know, it was freezing cold, and just eating chips and watching the fireworks and
Mm-hmm.
watching the bonfire, and just, you know, people be singing and dancing and bands would be playing. It's just like a carnival atmosphere,
It's
really,
sort
you know.
of like a melding of our 4th of July and Halloween.
Yes, that's pretty much what it is, yeah. And a lot of people don't know why they celebrate Guy Fawkes
Right,
Day
because
anymore.
I
It's
was-
just like, oh, Guy Fawkes, he was this guy who tried to blow up Parliament.
Because I was going to say, yeah.
You know,
But isn't that funny? I mean, to me, it's funny
4 centuries ago.
coming from an American's point of view, an American who knows British people, and I feel like, you know, I've seen a lot of British things. I've got a good idea about British people.
Yeah, she's been watching TV. She's been watching those
No.
TV programs.
But so coming at it from that angle, I find it really interesting that you guys would celebrate a person not being successful at blowing Parliament up.
well, I mean,
Because
it's a
Britain's
celebration.
very like
It's-
anti-government for the most
It's celebrating the fact that he didn't blow it up, yeah. And it's,
part. Right.
well, he didn't blow
you're
up the
sti-
king. or
Right.
whatever,
it was
yeah.
right. Yeah.
But now it's like that's
It was the king, which even more so so
it was
many,
the House of Lords, actually.
so many British people are so...
They were going to blow up the House of Lords because King James I, they had a beef with him about, because he was a Protestant king and, they were Catholics.
Yeah.
And they were sick of being run down and they were going to, institute a coup, I guess.
Yeah.
When they blew up and killed him, assassinated him. But of course it was foiled and we celebrated it ever since,
I know. Which is my point, so many modern day Brits don't like the royals. They're not that big on government. They think, much like in America, we think government people are all crooks, So I just I just find it funny that you guys would still celebrate a holiday that's basically celebrating the failure of somebody who was trying to get rid of those things that modern day British people don't really like.
Yes, yeah, that's true. Yeah, I mean, but
it's a reason
at the
to
end
have
of
a
the day,
party.
on the same day, it's a reason to have a party. Yes, and also the significance of it has mostly been lost. It's literally now just an excuse to have a party, and it's just like the elements of we're going to burn Boris on the fire tonight, or we're going to burn Jeremy Corbyn, or whoever you want to burn, an effigy, of course, not the actual Boris Johnson or Jeremy Corbyn. That would be quite.
We're not advocating violence.
That would be
on
quite
this podcast.
we're not advocating violence on this podcast, and we're not advocating anarchy in the UK, but yeah, it's just that kind of thing, people just want, because it's over here that the significance of 4th of July is still there. It's still.
No. I think there's a lot of people who go to fireworks displays
and
they
don't
go
know
to
why.
cookouts and stuff. Yeah, and they have
that's
really
kind of true
why.
Because I had a lot of
4th of
Americans
July.
asking me if we celebrated 4th of July, and I knew more about it than they did.
Right.
And I was shocked. I was shooketh.
There's some, I don't know, Jimmy Kimmel or somebody like that has gone around before to some of these celebrations that they have.
Why do we celebrate 4th of July?
On
and
the
they're just
beach, interviewing people.
Fireworks, isn't it, mate?
Yeah, interviewing people. And they're like, oh, some of them would know, we're celebrating our independence. And they're like, okay, yeah.
It's Independence Day.
From who? Oh, Mexico, or China
Mexico.
or whatever. It's
Mexico or
like,
Canada. Independence, yeah.
Yeah.
Just independence from the world.
Independence from the aliens, somebody said.
Yes, no, somebody did say that to me once. I should have, I don't know, it was some girl who said, yeah, we're celebrating our independence from the aliens. And I'm like, what are you talking? And I thought they were having me on, but they totally weren't. And I was like, that film with Will Smith wasn't a documentary. Yeah.
Anyway, we're getting off topic here.
Going back into 4th of July out there, boy. But, yes.
Yeah, so it's the same thing. British people don't really know why they're celebrating.
Yes, they just
Bonfire.
Guy Fawkes, he's this guy who tried to blow up Parliament or something,
Yeah, but I'd be willing to bet there's British people out there that don't even know that.
There's probably British people out there. Do you know why we celebrate 4th of July?
Well, we've told them now.
Or Guy Fawkes Day, or, we've told them now, but they might not remember. So. But no, yeah, it's very strange because it's a kind of macabre thing, you're celebrating the death of someone, Because I don't think he actually was burned on the bonfire whole. I think what happened was he was hung, drawn, and quartered first, and he was just chucked into a bonfire.
Yeah.
The original Guy Fawkes now,
Yeah.
And he was one of the lesser known of the, if anybody should be Robert Catesby was the one who led the whole plot.
Yeah. There's a film. No, it was a miniseries, wasn't it?
It was a miniseries with Kit Harington. Yeah, Kit Harington was willing to go on the bonfire and get burned.
I wouldn't really recommend it, just as a series because it was just kind of.
It was dry. Yeah, it was a little bit boring. It was just kind of it was just a telling of events.
But yeah. So if you're interested in learning more, I guess if you don't want to read about it, you can go look up that miniseries. If you're a Kit Harington fan,
Kit Harington from Game of Thrones, he was doing his best. No, he wasn't. He was Guy Fawkes.
Mm-hmm. It'll
And I
basically
don't know who
tell
was
you
Robert Catesby, but yeah,
what went on.
what went on and why it went down. And
Not super entertaining.
it's not entertaining. It was very kind of just like a, just a thing, that he thought maybe this will get played every Bonfire Night,
Yeah.
But really, I think there's more. I think there's been films made.
Yeah.
But really, it's not.
Well, it was really kind of a pathetic kind of story. Really, I mean, they weren't that organized.
They were just well, yeah. I mean, they were gonna get found out because someone blabbed, or an anonymous source sent a letter to someone, who then, got everyone out looking for these plotters and stuff, and the plot was kind of foiled before it even came to be.
It was very just a group of kind of
disgruntled Catholics. Yes, it was disgruntled Catholics trying to restore Catholicism in the UK.
Yeah.
And they did not like James because he was Protestant and it was destroying, and they didn't want to move to America. So
oh God,
no, they didn't want to move over anywhere else to do what the Puritans had done, and all that kind of thing.
Yeah.
It was just kind of like we'll just blow up Parliament and
be
done with it.
No, but they have
can't kill a king.
They have those creepy Guy Fawkes masks too.
Yeah,
don't they?
yeah, that's become kind of like the thing, because when he was found, I mean, they've still got the original lantern that he was holding.
Oh yeah,
Guy Fawkes, when he was found.
Mm-hmm.
It's in Oxford. It's in a museum in Oxford. But he was, like the typical lantern, and he's got the Quaker kind of thing. He was wearing spurs. He was wearing a cloak. He looked very 1600s, his dress sense. Mm. But yeah, that mask, I don't know where that came from.
Yeah, where it's very kind of
it looks Victorian-y. It looks like it was done in the Victorian era.
It sort of reminds me of the masks, the Venetian style masks, sometimes they have a long nose or...
I think it was popularized in V for Vendetta, that film.
Oh yeah.
Because I think that's what he kind of called himself, was Guido Fawkes, wasn't it? That
I've
guy.
Never seen that.
I haven't seen it either, but it's like a dystopian London underworld, know.
There's somebody on the internet. I'm like, I should know this, but who wears that? It's Anonymous, yeah. And I think they got the inspiration from V for Vendetta, I think, for that. Yeah. Okay.
That's what everybody thinks anyway,
Yeah, because he just wears the mask and he puts out little videos or something.
Yeah,
I don't really know.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
But okay, true. So some people wear that on Bonfire Night, then the mask.
Yeah, some people wear the masks. Some people dress up. It's like a fancy dress party.
Oh, do they? They dress up in costumes?
In costumes, and you could go and, I mean, it's just an excuse for a party at the end of the day, isn't it? It's like Halloween.
Yeah.
It's not too long since, I mean, tonight it's happening. So
it's a big drinking night, I'm assuming.
Well, that's every holiday in Britain. Bank holiday, it's a big drinking night, Yeah, I mean, yes, I mean, everybody gets drunk and, cider,
Yeah. It's kind of funny to have an outdoor celebration like that in November in Britain, though.
Well,
because it's cold.
It's cold. I mean, cold all the time.
You're warmed up by the bonfires.
Yeah, because I mean, some of those I've been to some that are they're kind of like a puny bonfire because they've done it in a park right by a kid's playground.
Oh, yeah.
And they've leveled that place off and stuff, and they've had to have fire safety officers and stuff around there.
That seems like an odd choice for a bonfire.
Well, it's just I mean, because I mean, yeah, usually it's kind of they do it in a city.
Yeah.
I don't know where they do it in London. I mean, I'm sure there's several of them, but they usually in little villages in the country and stuff like that. You've got a farmer's field you can go to and have this massive bonfire, and people really go for it. They put all the bits of wood and. They just collect everything and the kindling and everything.
I think my mom was in Liverpool last year during Bonfire Night.
Was it during Bonfire Night?
Yeah, and they did it on, I don't think she went because I think, funnily enough, they took a tour to Wales that day. But
oh, that's right.
yeah, so they got in late. But I think in Liverpool they did I don't know if they did the actual bonfire, but they shot the fireworks off on the Mersey, like on the banks of the river, which is where they shoot fireworks off down here in Austin as well. So probably, I guess, maybe if these towns in Britain have little bodies of water or something, maybe they hold them near
they have them near water and stuff. But I always used to I remember them sometimes. The last place I lived in, the last bonfire night I went to in Wales, it was at this stadium. It was at this old stadium, Stradey Park.
Yeah.
And it was just fireworks. I don't remember even a bonfire. It was just like people were gathered there for the fireworks, and they were eating
bonfires are
chip vans and
so...
yeah. I mean, yeah, people can't be bothered to build them, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, sometimes you'll do like a massive one.
I mean, we had there. I don't know if they still do it or not. There used to be a tradition here in Texas, because the University of Texas has a rival, Texas A&M. It's just like a friendly kind of rival.
Yeah.
And they used
the
to
Aggies.
the Aggies. And the Aggies used to hold a bonfire like the night before they'd play each other or something. I don't know. I'm not really up on college football. So if you know the story and I'm getting it wrong, forgive me, please.
Beaches are a good place to have a bonfire too. Usually,
but
like
they
in Britain,
built up one year a huge bonfire, and a bunch of people were killed. It went wrong. I don't know if it fell or what happened. I can't remember, but it was a disaster because, you know, the whole university or whatever, and it's a big school.
If you don't build the bonfire, then it's going to topple over.
Yeah, terrible. So those things can be really dangerous. I can see why maybe in Britain they might be shifting more toward let's just do big fireworks displays.
Fireworks display, yeah. I mean, I remember as a kid, you know, sparklers were a big thing, you know, and I'd have them on the club, and, you know, you'd go around to a friend's house and you'd have, like, party atmosphere going, you know. They wouldn't have a bonfire. We'd go and watch the bonfire or the fireworks display somewhere else, but in the back garden it would be like, oh, let's light some sparklers.
Yeah.
And because in Britain it gets dark at 4:30, that was probably like in the afternoon. You know, it wasn't like dead at night, you know.
Yeah.
But it was just like pitch black, so you'd be doing your sparklers and all that, and then you do a psh in sand or water or whatever.
I'd love to go. I'd love to be in Britain sometime and experience it because I've never been there during this.
We can find you some jacket potatoes because you're really into baked potatoes.
And you said toffee apples, right?
Toffee apples. Yeah, I mean very Halloweeny kind of treats.
Mm-hmm. S'mores?
Oh, not really.
No,
I don't remember s'mores, but I'm sure now.
Yeah.
With the cross culture and everything, you know, there's probably going to be.
It seems like you got a bonfire.
Toasting marshmallows on the bonfire, though, people do that.
Oh, really?
So yeah, if you got a bar of chocolate and
are there do they
biscuits.
have the fire department out there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because usually someone will freaking, you know,
do something stupid,
let off a firework, and it goes into a house and explodes.
Oh God.
Very London's Burning, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah. And London's Burning, for people who don't know, is a show that was on ITV in Britain in the 90s. And it was very realistic in the very early days. You know, it was like almost like documentary style, you know, the way they were shooting it. Because, you know, some of the emergencies or the shouts they'd have were like, oh, God, yeah, you know, that's a bit near.
Yeah, God.
But yeah.
It was kind of like, I mean, this is again, we go off topic all the time. So, I mean, if you guys have been listening to us for a while,
we go off topic, but then we find our way back to the path. Don't you worry.
But it was a little bit like Law and Order, wasn't it? Like they would take things that were in the news. They would take storylines that were kind of happening around Britain.
And, you know, some of the like stunts and stuff they did on that show were incredible, you know.
Yeah.
But yes. So
I think we finished talking about that.
Possibly. Maybe. Possibly.
If you guys are British and you're listening and you are going out tonight for Bonfire Night, or if you've been doing something all day today or whatever, I don't know. Do people get off work on the 5th of November?
Not really. I don't think many people take it off either.
So if it falls during a weekday, then it's just like you just have to go to work. So
sometimes, I mean, they usually would do it like on the weekend around Bonfire Night. You know, if it wasn't on the weekend. So,
but yeah, so if you're celebrating Bonfire Night, Guy Fawkes Night or whatever,
you got your guy.
Yeah.
You got your pennies for the guy.
Yeah, tweet us or Facebook, Instagram, wherever. Let us
show us your
know
pictures.
what you're doing, and yeah, tag
And
us in your
videos.
pictures and videos. I want to see it. I've never gotten to go to a bonfire night.
Not allowed to take her, you see.
But yeah, anyway, so I kind of interrupted. I think where you were taking the podcast.
Yes, because our giveaway has ended, everybody. It's ended, and it's now time for the drawing.
Yay!
Bring on the drawing. Okay, so here we go with the drawing.
Okay, yeah. So
we're filming this live for
We're
Instagram.
filming this live. This is live on the podcast.
Live on the podcast, everybody.
So if you follow us on Instagram, you've seen that earlier today we printed out all of you guys' entries, and I folded them up here, and we've tossed them.
They're all tossed into a hat.
We tossed them. They're in a hat. Dominic's going to draw because I'm holding the camera, and he'll just, like, look away, and these are folded.
I'll look away,
I'll
promise.
just give him a little toss here. All of you guys' names are in the hat, and
Okay.
let's see. Who's it gonna be? And the
Winner is Ramona Garner Green.
And she entered on Facebook.
Ramona Garner Green, everybody.
Ramona Garner Green. Congratulations.
Congratulations, Ramona.
We have a winner. Ooh, almost.
We have a winner.
We have a winner.
Chicken dinner.
Yeah, so we'll contact her and get her address, and if we don't hear back from her, we'll do another drawing.
Yep.
Yeah.
If we don't hear back from Ramona, we'll do another drawing. And
Yep. So congratulations, Ramona Garner Green.
yes. Congratulations, everybody.
Yeah, and thanks to everybody who entered.
Thanks to everybody who entered.
Yeah,
Yep.
we really appreciate it.
So yes.
Yeah, so we have a winner.
So we have a winner at last.
We really had a lot of fun doing this.
Because
So.
we ran this for like
A month.
A month.
Yeah, we
yeah,
ran
it was
it for a whole month.
a month. Yeah.
And we had a lot of
response.
We had a lot of response, but we also had response saying, "Why isn't this open around the world?"
Yes, a lot of people from around the world were like, "Oh yeah, you should open this up," and we were just like,
So we definitely
we couldn't do it at this time, but next time we will.
Yeah, so we definitely want to do, like, I think you suggested Texas snacks, like
Texas style,
themed.
a Texas shaped giveaway.
Texas shape. That sounds like it's going to be a really huge giveaway.
Because like a Texas
You didn't
theme,
say Texas sized.
Texas sized, Texas shaped. It's gonna be a Texas sized and shaped giveaway, everybody. So
Yeah.
all the stuff from Texas that you might have heard of or might love, we'll do in our next giveaway.
Yeah,
I
or
think.
probably mostly things you haven't heard of.
Mostly things you haven't heard of.
Yeah, maybe we'll get something from Bucky's.
Bucky's, yeah, who actually mentioned us in their story.
Yeah, if you're not
Good old Bucky's.
If you're not following us on Instagram, yesterday we did a Bucky's Instagram story that was, like, I think probably the longest story ever on Instagram.
Yeah, ever in the history of Instagram stories, actually. Yeah, so.
And if you made it all the way till the end, unfortunately you didn't win anything, but we really appreciate you sticking
We really
with us.
appreciate you sticking with us because it's been wonderful. It's been great. It's been the best.
Oh, it's been wonderful. It's been marvelous.
The best drawings ever. The best giveaway ever.
Yeah, so if you're not following us on Instagram, you're missing out on stuff like that.
Yeah, you are.
We gave you a little tour around Bucky's yesterday.
Yes, we did.
Depending on when this podcast, when
you're listening to
listening,
this
it might still be
this
on
podcast.
there now. Oh, yeah.
Postcast.
Podcast.
Postcad. Something.
But yeah, so we do stuff like that. Twitter, Facebook. We're T-Buddy.
With T-Buddy.
TEABUTTY. Yeah. So follow us on all the social medias so you don't miss anything. Sometimes we post something just on Twitter. Sometimes we post something just on Facebook. We're going to hopefully do another giveaway at some point. So you want to keep following us so that you can enter in that, because you have to follow us in order to enter into to the giveaways.
Yes.
Yeah. Once again, congratulations to Ramona Garner.
Congratulations to Ramona Garner Green.
Thank
on Facebook.
all of you for listening to us, first of all. We really appreciate that, because otherwise it'd just be...
Just us talking.
Just me and Dominic here talking.
We're just talking to each other.
Which can be fun sometimes.
Yes.
You know, not all the time.
Not all the time. There we go. The truth comes out. You see.
It's certainly not entertaining all the time, let me tell you.
Oh, it's been very entertaining. Very. Oh, it's been slipping and sliding, beeping and ad. A long time ago.
But yeah, so we also have a website. We also have a shop on Amazon. So if you didn't win the giveaway today,
you can go buy the stuff that we're
to,
sending out.
Yeah.
To who was it? Ramona Garner Green.
Ramona Garner Green. Yeah.
Congratulations, Ramona Garner Green.
Yes. So we do have a little shop on Amazon. We make a little bit of a commission off all the sales. We just have to disclose that. But we've just kind of collected together our favorite biscuits, our favorite drinks, teas, crisps from Britain and America.
Yes.
Yeah, so if you did not win and you need recommendations, you're like sitting at home and you're like, you know what? I really want to try some British biscuits, but I don't know which ones are great. We've got you covered.
We have got you covered, everybody.
So go on our website.
We know what's going on.
TinaBuddy.com, and we have the shop on there. You can become a Patreon and support us if you so choose.
Yes.
We've got a coffee page. We've got YouTube. We haven't
Yes.
done much with it, but we are planning on it.
Yes.
And just love us.
Love us. Try us. Love us.
Yes.
Well,
thank you guys for listening.
thank you for listening.
And we'll talk to you later.
We'll talk to you next time.
Bye.
Bye.